Hi, today we're going to practice all of the rules we have learned about integers, and we are going to apply them to multi-step expressions using our order of operations. If you don't have this sheet in front of you, by the way, it says it's important to have order, especially in math. This is your doodle notes that you have. If you don't have them, pause the video right now. Go get them because you need to doodle with me. Okay. So if you look in the middle of the screen, it's a reminder of what PEMDAS means. So P is for parentheses, E is for exponents. I'm going to put an X up there so you don't forget. This is multiplication and division. Do remember that they go left to right. One does not come before the other. Sometimes you might do division first if it's on the left. The same applies to addition, A, and subtraction. This is where PEMDAS comes from, if you remember this. So we are going to follow those order of operations so that as we go along, we follow the same rules, we evaluate the same way. Okay, we're going to go up to the top. Now, also remember that we have also learned many rules about integers. And the first thing it says is let's remember those rules for adding and subtracting. Let's remember that if the signs are the same, we add, right? If the signs are different, we subtract. That applies to negative and positive, or positive and negative. If the signs are different, we subtract. If they're both negative, we add them together. Because everything you've ever learned about, even with fractions and with decimals, everything you've ever learned about is that we only can add together things that are alike. So we put them together if they both have the same sign. We subtract them if they have different signs. Now let's get started. Remember in PEMDAS, it says that we need to do parentheses first. Okay, well, what's in this set of parentheses? 4 times negative 1. Multiplication is like adding and subtracting as well. If you multiply a number by its opposite, you get a negative. Or you get the opposite value in this case. Now I'm going to continue writing the rest of my expression. Sorry about the handwriting, I'm using a mouse. Do you see any exponents? Nope. Even the parentheses that we have, we can't really evaluate those anymore. So we're going to look at the division that we have on the left, and it looks like I have a negative 12 divided by 3. Negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. And I'm adding to that, that's an addition, by the way, I'm adding to that a negative 4. Remember, the only reason these parentheses are there is so that you can see the difference between plus and the negative. Now, we just said over here, if the signs are the same like these two are, we just add the two together and keep the sign. So 4 plus 4 is 8, and they're both negative, so it stays negative. Our answer here is negative 8. I will show you the answers to these others in a little bit, but right now I'd like to skip down to some that are a little bit more different. This is the one I really want to do. This is a little different than you've had. If I have negative 3 times 4, and I'm adding to that in parentheses negative 2 to the third, that means I need to evaluate the exponents first, because even though I have parentheses, there really isn't anything to do inside the parentheses. So negative 2 to the third power really means that I need to multiply negative 2 3 times. But first I'm going to rewrite the first part of my expression. And now I will say negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. I know negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Positive 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. I'm going to rewrite the rest of my expression. Please always do this step by step. The reason we do it that way isn't so that you have to do more work. It's so that you can see where the mistake was made if you make one. And by the way, we always make mistakes in math. That is how we learn. I'm expecting mistakes. -3 times +4 is -12. I'm adding to that a -8. Oh, look at that. Both of the signs are negatives. If they're both negative, I add them together. You add like terms. So 12 and 8 is -20. I should have said -12 plus -8. So your answer here should be -20. I'd like you to go back up to the top and try this next one. It was the one on the right. I don't think we did that one. Why don't you give that a shot right now? Please pause the video and I will show you the solution in a minute. I'm hoping that you have solved this, or simplified, I should say. I hope you've simplified the expression on the right to the best of your ability. The first thing you should have done was divided -3 divided by 3. -3 divided by +3 is -1. And then we go left to right, 3 minus -1 plus 6. So 4 plus 6 is 10. If you have any questions, please make sure you see me. The next two problems look like this. Take a minute and check your work. Does your work look like this work? If it doesn't, either figure out what you did wrong or please see Mrs. Pearson or myself and we will help you with this. It's very important that you know the rules and that you follow them. That's how we always end up with the same answers. And I did the one on the right with you, but you need to do the one on the left. Make sure you remember all of the rules. The more you practice, the better you will be at this. And by the way, you need to be very good at your integer rules because we are going to start throwing fractions and decimals at you. So practice up. Great job.